To sleep, perchance to dream. Shakespeare, Hamlet, 1602. Of course, beautiful and interesting dreams are the spices that can make sleep even sweeter, but sometimes a night's rest can be spoiled by less pleasant dreams. A while ago, I dreamed that my computer was stolen. Even in my sleep, I was extremely upset about the loss, and in the morning, I told my wife about the nightmare I had experienced. It also made me wonder why bad dreams are called nightmares. In this video, I will tell you where the term comes from, what it originally meant, and that having nightmares on a regular basis can be the symptoms of a medical condition. According to the etymology dictionary, we get the mare part from the Dutch word mare, which means tidings, rumor, or story full of complaints and excuses. It can also mean knowledge, visitation, tormentor, ghost, or thought. The latter meanings are on the darker side and originated centuries ago. We'll talk about that shortly. Today, we use the word nightmare to describe any unpleasant dream. In my personal subconscious, the loss of my computer would be a nasty blow, and that's why the dream was a nightmare for me. It's also a nightmare when I step onto a sidewalk in my dream and suddenly find myself surrounded by snakes. Each of us has personal horrors in our subconscious that make us wake up in a cold sweat and with a racing heart. Fortunately, the bad feelings associated with the dream disappear very quickly, and then I can laugh about it. Some people are not so lucky. People who suffer from the condition, sleep paralysis, experience physical symptoms that make them panic. Sleep paralysis, or narcolepsy, usually occurs when the person is in the stage between sleep and waking. The sufferer can see and hear but cannot move or speak at all. Some also feel as if there is a weight on their chest, as if someone is sitting on them, and they struggle to breathe. The worst part is the feeling that there is a dark presence in the room. This paralysis is a natural part of the sleep process and usually resolves itself by the time you wake up. Some people wake up while the paralysis is still ongoing. Experiencing nightmares or bad dreams occasionally is relatively common. Sleep paralysis, however, occurs rarely. The exact cause of nightmares and sleep paralysis has not yet been determined. The following factors may contribute to the phenomenon: stress or anxiety, trauma, lack of sleep, medication and substance abuse, scary stories, books, and movies. There are so many films in which horrors are presented graphically and with great pleasure. Watching them at night is not really conducive to a good night's rest. It is not coincidental that many of the horrors in these movies take place in the bedroom. Think of Babadook, where a giant spider runs across the ceiling and then jumps on the victim in her bed without her being able to make a sound. In Last Night in Soho, the lady is pinned down by ghostly hands on her bed. The writers of these screenplays heavily rely on the original explanation of the nightmare. This brings me back to where the mare in nightmare comes from. The English mare stems etymologically from the Greek maren. Originally, the word described a phenomenon that would sneak into your room at night and settle on your body. The victim would feel a weight on him that might start at the legs but always ends up on the chest. As a result, the victim loses the ability to move and obviously have a very bad dream. In the centuries before modern science diagnosed the phenomenon as narcolepsy, there were many recorded stories in which the so-called mares would appear to victims in different forms. Allegedly, a Norwegian queen even sent a mare to her estranged husband and killed him. Advice to prevent nightmares included leaving your shoes in front of your bed, but with the laces loose and aimed at where you lay on the bed. You could also close the keyhole and any other holes in the floor and ceiling and wherever else, so that the nightmare couldn't come in through them. Today, we understand that there is nothing supernatural about a nightmare, but unfortunately, we still don't have a cure for it. However, there are clinics where you can seek help if you suffer from sleep paralysis. Sleep well. Sweet dreams.